how did you reconcile with the beliefs that you started exploring with science? I mean, how were
Uh,
you able to do that?
I don't think that I was able to reconcile eventually because it is impossible to reconcile if you're very honest. But I'll
Mhm.
tell you what happened like initially. Initially, as a Hindu, I always felt because Hinduism, like if you look at like very good scientists like basically Schrodinger, and there are philosophers like Schopenhauer, and you have so many people who are talking
Heidegger and
about
all. Yeah, yeah. I think they
yeah,
were
talking from the Gita and Upanishad and
inspired
everything. So
by the Upanishads. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so you would feel that, and this was always the case. See, the church and everything, or Islam, they have so much conflict with science, and
Oh
Hinduism, they have
yes.
no
Oh
conflict with
yes.
science. They have no conflict with science. So there is a lot of not so, it's not completely true actually. So this is what I realized. If you dig in deeper, there's no contradiction because they never knew about science. I mean, in the modern way, but I'll tell you the issues, like basically which are there. So there are some primary sciences. First science which was there was the science of astronomy everywhere, because it is so important for farming and everything else, monitoring the time and everything else. So if you look at astronomy, like if you look at the Puranic cosmology, like the Puranas, which are, or the epics, even Mahabharata or something. So they basically have a flat Earth version. So the Earth is flat there, basically for them. That is the reason that Rahu and Ketu are needed, because I mean, in a flat Earth conception, you can't get an eclipse that easily. But obviously, when I was a believer completely in the greatness of this thing, what you'll do is you'll try to reinterpret the verses that it is in higher dimension and hundreds of things and everything.
Yes.
And that's how I realized to reconcile. But then went back to the commentators, like go to the 6th century commentators. It's very clear, and also pictures of the paintings and everything. Like there's an avatar called Vara avatar,
Hmm.
where the person is like there is a uh, like a pig, or like he's taking the earth from below, and so there you will see a flat earth there in the pictures. I mean, and I personally don't blame them, because obviously it is very hard to know that the earth is spherical, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But there was a parallel tradition coming from Surya Siddhanta, starting with Aryabhatta and other people
Mm.
who did find out that the earth was spherical or it was rotating and all these things. But at that time, if you see the commentators, very much, I mean, they were not ostracizing him, but they actually said that you are contradicting the scriptures. And they told Aryabhatta that you are doing your own thing, but this is going against the scriptures. You are contradicting it. So these things were happening then also, but it's not like very fatal. But I'm just saying that there was that contradiction, and this happened. Similarly, there is a second issue. So it was hard for me to reconcile, because initially everybody would just reinterpret the verses and everything, but just go to the traditional commentators, they will not reinterpret them, they will uh, just interpret it correctly. So one defense everybody has, like, who, if you go inside the Hindu tradition, maybe it is same in Islamic. Oh, you didn't study under the proper authority, you have to study Sanskrit for 30 years or 40 years submissively, then only you can understand Hinduism. Otherwise, you won't understand what is written in the scriptures. But that is just, so what they'll do is they will use a secondary meaning of the word to say it is not flat, and then they will use some meaning of Sanskrit, and it's just, maybe people do the same with Arabic. You just use some secondary word, or something you will use instead of using the primary meaning, use some third. So there is a
Yes.
thing in Upanishad also where it justifies wife beating, and it's very embarrassing, and they'll say just a slight touch or something. So there
Same,
are all
same.
these kind of things.
Very
So you
similar.
have to keep on so you have to keep on, so there is embarrassment, but for me now it's like it's the past, I don't need to follow so
Ah,
that is one thing. Flat earth is one thing which already shows that there is this thing which, I mean, they didn't were not completely as advanced as I thought. The second thing is about reproduction. So
mm,
how they thought about reproduction is that you have these stories where somebody actually discharges semen and then puts it in the pot, and the person automatically, so basically the function of the womb is just to as a
vessel.
basically
A vessel.
facility. Yeah, vessel, not like there is an egg coming from. So this conception is not
Both
that. That is why there are
making.
so many stories where somebody drops the semen and the kid is there, because so you can see that this is a shortcoming. At the same time, many Hindus will claim that in Mahabharata Sanjay was doing, so we knew about radio waves or something, but there's nothing like electromagnetism there. Nothing is there. But one very big thing which is there is this thing about consciousness. That is what attracted everybody, like whether it is Schrodinger and all these things, that
Schopenhauer.
this, yeah, so all these people said, like, you are the, there is a axiom, or there's a verse called Tattvamasi, that you are that, like
Mm,
basically
mm.
you are the, like Deepak Chopra has a book on that, you are the
Yeah,
universe
I
basically.
have read it.
Yeah, yeah. So you have, so that particular thing touches the peak of something which modern science was going into, like from quantum mechanics and everything else. That is how the Hindus start and say that we know all science, because this consciousness is there. Subhash Kak is my relative. He also got a Padma. I mean, he writes a lot of bogus
Yes,
stuff
I do
also.
follow him.
But what to do? Like that. But there is an amazing thing about consciousness, which is a hard problem of consciousness, which is still not cracked. And I think it is a very difficult problem. It's a very important thing. And in terms of the meditational techniques, whether from Buddhism or yoga, it is amazing, like in terms of scientifically how you can explore consciousness or something. But like I'm saying that those are like high things, like this is
I think
consciousness.
I think Sam Harris is also going into that direction, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he always practiced mindful. He has practiced mindfulness, and many people practice it, because the only thing is that he will say that it doesn't mean that you will know about science just by doing that meditation. So idea before was that the people who are at the peak of the meditative experience knew everything about everything. So there is no correlation between that. So that much I also realized, that there is no correlation, because I gave you the example of the flat earth, or what people know about reproduction, or even simple thing like optics. I mean, that was something which actually the Arabic or this golden age they
Mm,
discovered, like in
mm.
terms of what is the way that we see things, which is a very
Camera
simple thing. How
obscura. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do you actually, the senses go out and see it, or you come in? So this is
Come on.
an interesting debate. And actually Sankhya and Buddhism, if you go into old text, they also have this debate.
Right.
So it's very different from the way it's portrayed now, that like the books are like, Vedas are considered, they were just coming eternally from God, and then you have, they are the divine one, and you have to just find truth in that. No, people were debating that time also. So
Mm.
it was not like it was not, this knowledge will not come just I'm meditating and just reinterpret the scripture and
Done,
get
done,
it.
done.
So this is a very wrong understanding,
In
which
fact,
is
we are
probably,
trying the same for the, Abrahamic texts also, that they could have been divinely inspired, but then eventually there had to be a human writer, there
yeah,
had to be a
human
human
writer,
compiler. Mm.
and contradicts. Like obviously the Bible is not a coherent text of one person, and
Even the
similarly
Quran, for that
Vedas,
matter, contradicts a lot. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
and Vedas are even bigger, so they contradict even more. So you can't do that. So basically, that's what I would say about science. And there is this thing about, there are two more small
One
topics.
quick
One,
question. This mindfulness that you talk about, right? Meditation of. Shouldn't it be Zen Buddhist, tradition?
yeah, yeah, mindfulness is Zen Buddhist, but if you look at Buddha's story, actually,
Mm.
that Buddha was not like, so he went to about at least 15, 16 teachers. He practiced
Yes.
different forms of yoga and came up with his own technique of mindfulness, which
Yes.
is kind of borrowing things also from the others. So there were at least there was this ascetic tradition there. Like you had yoga, Jainism, Buddhism, all these were different branches with different kind of techniques. So I said mindfulness, but you can also talk, like Sadhguru will do not mindfulness, but some other form of yoga, Shambhavi Kriya. But there are like different variations of the meditation techniques, which are all diverse. But I'm just saying that these are all meditative traditions which emerged around, say, yoga, Buddhism, and everything else.
And since the
And
cultural context that he was born in, he would
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
have borrowed
I
from,
know he actually went to many teachers and
many
then
teachers.
finally found
Yes,
this particular teaching.
absolutely.
So there were two particular things which I wanted to cover in science, which is like, which people use as a thing, that how Hinduism is very scientific.
Mm-hmm.
One is the fact that law of karma. So law of
Mm-hmm.
karma is very much similar to Newton's third laws, which is obviously
Okay.
not true, but I actually believed it before. So there were a lot of contradictions there. First of all, like in Hinduism, for the most part, they believe in four different yugas or whatever, and there are different rules for different yugas, and they'll I'll go into morality there also. Like sometimes before it was meat eating was okay, but now it's forbidden and everything. So you have to imagine some kind of personalized database of every action which is recorded by a divine database, and then you give some reactions, and how do you balance it out? And karma actually is a very empty thing, vacuous thing, but it helps people to kind of cope up with reality. But there's no scientific basis, or it can't be empirically validated. But there were people, in fact, one thing I wanted to add is there is a sect in Hinduism which was called Ajivikas. They were pretty prominent. So they believed in reincarnation without karma. So what he said was similar to this. So there was this debate that he said there is no karma, or like there's nothing connected to your action which is coming from the universe. There is some kind of continuity reincarnation, but there's no correlation between what you do and this thing. So so there was that kind of strain. So I was very surprised to see that, like, but it's like a testament to like so many different thought processes which were there. But I think that karma is something which binds everybody. Like we already know, it's like Newton's third law, something which is not true. Equal and opposite, not. I mean, if you go into details that how the rules change for each caste, that this caste will be going to hell based on this. I mean, there will be so many divine people around there to record every thought and everything, which becomes very strange, and you can't really imagine like that.
I
So
know. Tell me about it.
and
I
the
know. I
second
know.
thing, and the second thing people say is that gravity was already known in India before Newton knew
Newton.
it, which is again untrue, in the sense that even Aristotle knew that things are falling to the ground. I mean, what Galileo opposed Aristotle is like they are falling at the same rate irrespective of the mass.
Hmm.
These are very detailed and depth questions. Aristotle said heavier mass falls faster. So he also knew that things are falling to the
Falling
center. I
down.
mean,
Right.
that they are falling to the center. So this is not something like, oh my God, like what Newton did is something another level. Like
Yes.
what he is trying to say is that the force which is used, which the motion of the planets is happening, is similar to the force which the apple is falling.
The
Like
experiment of the coin and the feather, from the Leaning Tower of
yeah,
Pisa and all.
coin and father,
Galileo, right?
Galileo did. But in
Huh.
Newton's universal law, what he says is the same force which gets the apple down is the
Mhm.
same force which gets the moon in the orbit around the earth. So, and he quantified that force, and then he said that if this is the characteristics of those force mathematically, it's an inverse square law, and these will be like ellipses so there's no comparison at all at the depth. Like there's no comparison. But there is one particular thing I wanted to say about contributions of Indian mathematicians and scientists. One is that they had hit some form of pre-calculus already in the Kerala School of Mathematics. So that is true. And also trigonometry mostly came from India, and Arabs did a great job actually. I mean, I don't know whether I'm called Arabs, but in Baghdad, they assimilated Greek and Indian traditions together.
Traditions. Right.
So that was an amazing work, because of which
Yes.
actually we got
Yes.
modern science. So you have to give credit. In fact, I regret it that why didn't it happen in the Islamic world? Because then you would see that Christianity would be like Islam, and Islam, it would be the opposite, because
Opposite. Yeah.
Christianity was like when Romans took over,
Mm.
converted to Christianity, it went bad, like
Dark
for
ages.
so
Dark
many.
ages.
And we
Absolutely.
recovered the Greek text basically from Islamic world.
From the Arab
otherwise,
world. Yes.
otherwise,
Yes.
yeah. And the Islamic world's contribution, or the Arabic world, was to absorb things both from Greece and from
Indic
India. And,
traditions. Yeah.
and that is
Ibn
why you
Khaldun.
have
Ibn Khaldun, and so many
yeah,
of them.
Averroes was so good. Averroes and like
Averroes. Ibn Khaldun is
so basic,
Averroes.
yeah,
Ibn
yeah,
Sina is
yeah,
Avicenna, right?
yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
So and then basically
That's a big
later on,
regret.
yeah,
Intellectual
yeah, because
suicide, like
I
I
was
told
surprised,
you.
and I feel very bad because the way, I mean, Needham had a question that why didn't things emerge in China and India, not in the West? So the West will, like the Christian people, they completely take credit for modern science, which is obviously bogle because it's not true. But they will say that it happened. See, it happened in our, but it
I
was an
know
accident. Most
what to
people,
do.
yeah,
What to do.
but it's true. But Weinberg says that it was an accident that happens once, and it's a culmination of lot of things, and it just happened once. But in India, the technology for shipbuilding, iron metallurgy,
Oh
all these
yes,
things are very well
absolutely.
done. In fact,
We
even
have
this
archaeological evidence. We
for
have our till.
17th and 18th century, even the shipbuilding was better than even British. So that's why I said that West actually was almost at par, like apart from the colonial navigation. After the 18th and 19th century, the 200 or 300 years of science is some other level which nobody has seen in modern history. Like if you look at electromagnetism,
Mm,
changed everything,
everything.
electricity. So this is like very modern though. So I'm saying that till the East India Company came, British were not much better than the Indians or something. I'm talking about like, but the 19th century, 20th century, everything has changed. So I'm just saying that
Especially after flight, the flight.
flight and then genetics and all these
Genetics,
things, it is some other level. So you can't just,
space
so it's,
age and all. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
no, we
So,
do give them credit, but unfortunately, we
no,
just
but I'm
took
saying you have to
certain.
see it in the context of history, how it came. And in fact, it's true that the Anglo-Saxons in ancient history, the British, these were the most considered the most primitive by the Greeks, and
Mhm,
they
mhm.
became the most advanced. So
Advanced.
it's an
It's a,
inspiring story in one way
yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
considered the people of the north to be the worst, like even the Christians or the Muslims,
Barbaric.
they are like barbaric.
Yeah.
And now Anglo-Saxon is what dominates the American this thing. So I mean, I'm saying that it's where history
And
when
they
you see an
consider
outlier.
us as barbaric, which in
Yeah, yeah.
some
So
ways is true.
yeah, but
Yeah.
which is true. But I'm saying that this was just history has a very funny thing which happens. It's really interesting
Absolutely.
to read.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
All right. Going on to the Aryan invasion theory. Lots of controversy, lots of, to and fro. So just
yeah.
elaborate briefly on that.
So why? First of all, I'll just tell you why Aryan invasion theory is an important question to Hindus. Why it is
Why
important is
is it
because
important? Why is it
yeah,
so important?
yeah. Why is it so important is because the if Aryan invasion took place, how people characterize it is that if people came from outside and suppressed the people who were native here, then why do you blame the Muslim? It is this next round of it. Like in the
Right.
sense that is what
Makes
so that is
sense.
what
Makes
like
sense.
basically this is happening all the time. And it's true, even in Native Americans, they came and this was happening all the time.
All
So
over.
this is
Right.
a very difficult point. So that is why they are so rooted to not proving that no, we were indigenous all through because I am not invading. So this whole idea was that we never invaded anybody.
Mhm.
But if this whole thing comes in, now they call it actually Aryan migration theory. In actually,
New papers coming up. New
I feel
papers.
bad for people who are here sometimes who do very genuine research. I mean, Rakib Khan, or like there are many people who
Mm-hmm.
they also have to tread on some shell, like because if
Excellent.
they have to say North Indian, like they have to say very politically correct things to appease the Hindus
Mm-hmm.
in the current context because it's very dangerous. Like you just want to do the research, but the
Ah.
problem is that this has become so controversial. But if you look at one person, Edwin Bryant, he had a book on the Aryan, and he is a
Mm-hmm.
practicing Hindu. He just looked at all the arguments on very balanced book actually, and you will eventually have to concede that there is a migration. I mean, there is genetic, linguistic, and like linguistic is there, genetic is there, and archaeological. There are many evidences which come together for some kind of migration. So you can't call it a complete takeover of that brutal kind, because there are a lot of climate events also which happened in Indus Valley. There's a decline, and many things were borrowed from the, like there is so much mixing now that you can't separate out things. For example, in the Vedas, you never worshipped idols or murtis,
Mm-hmm.
but this all tradition is coming from the natives of that time, in the sense that you have but that is what is dominating Hinduism now. So
Right.
so you can't separate it out now and say that what was that, and so now it is a complete mixture. So we shouldn't be so this happened. And in
Defensive
fact,
about it.
yeah, and
Right.
in fact, there were so many migrations to earlier from Africa. Most of the migration started from Africa. So there are some people in Andaman, some people from Kerala who directly migrated also, so from the first Africa. So there are so many waves of migration. That is how
Yeah.
human history has been.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so one thing I
Something that is happening today, in Europe, the
yeah
migrants coming from Mediterranean, and there's a whole
yeah
influx of, so eventually in 50 years' time, the whole European society will be totally different. Legislations are
yeah,
changing, things are changing. So it
and
happens, right? Climate
but
or
most
weather or anything, right?
climate
Right?
change will certainly. I'm
Uh,
saying that, but the, yeah, so but the Central Asian part is responsible for huge amount of migration in every direction every time in the world. And they have, like I told you, the horse has, I mean, this
Ah,
thing has a swing
mm,
of it, that because the horse is such a animal that it can't really, you can't keep it in one place because that
place.
pattern. So these nomadic societies are invasive in many ways. So that was true for Genghis Khan and everybody. So it's just true. But I said that, yeah, so it's not like if Islam didn't come, they won't have been fighting. They would be fighting. It's
Fighting.
just that
Right.
they won't impose religion on top of it, because
Right.
Genghis Khan was the biggest conqueror, as you know. And one particular thing I wanted to know, tell you, is that they miss the big picture, like the Hindus who talk about Aryan migration or something. At some point, you have migrated from Africa, though. But
Yeah.
they also are wedded to the other theory, which
Theory.
is about the yugas. That is unscientific completely. Like, for example, for them, for many Hindus, humans existed even like 100 million years back, because there was
Hmm.
Satyuga and everything, which
Hmm.
completely contradicts the modern
That's
science.
that's biblical also. Methuselah.
Yeah, but people always said that, they'll quote Carl Sagan, right? That in Hinduism, our age of the universe is much bigger, which is true.
Ah,
But in the modern science, the age of the universe is bigger. But humans came very recently, though.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
doesn't mean like
absolutely.
so.
Evolution. Yeah, yeah.
But in the
Right.
case of Hinduism, you always had humans from the beginning. So it's not that the age is bigger, but humans always were there in different yugas. Ram was like so many. So now they have tried to modify it, but so there's a contradiction for them. Like, I mean, there are some Japanese traditions also who think that everything originated from Japan. So it's a thing on humans which does it. But I'm saying that even if you look at the Aryan migration, I don't know why it is considered so much, but as I told you, it's
You
just
told me.
because yeah, so that is the
I
main thing.
understand.
Yeah.
All right. Morality in Hinduism.
Yeah.
It's come up very recently. They've become fanatic about it. It used to be in our culture, but it's
Yeah.
so disturbing to see it happening now. Vegetarianism, meat, the beef controversy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the attitude towards sex, considering that there are Khajuraho temples, and I mean, this
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
confusing for me as a non-Hindu.
Yeah. So it is very confusing. It was for me also, but I absorbed the Victorian morality when I was practicing, because that is how a modern Hindu absorbs Hinduism, is very much restrictive in terms of
I've heard.
vegetarian is the best
I've heard.
thing.
Yeah.
No, don't take alcohol and all these things. But although we are from a tradition like in Kashmir where we did, but it's a very strange thing though, that they didn't eat chicken, and like my grandmother, they won't eat chicken and egg, and they will only eat goat and fish. They
Yeah.
won't eat
That's
other meat. So this
yes.
was there. But then what was surprising for me is when went to the older text. I mean, Edwin Bryant again has a good PDF on that, emergence of vegetarianism and Hinduism. So if you look at the older text, even the Upanishads, they would say that you have to sacrifice a bull to get a son well versed in the Vedas. It will be like very offensive for me to see, like for a Hindu to read it. So they'll try to reinterpret it, but there's no, at least he's a practicing Hindu and he admits that it's there. So similarly, Samhita Charaka was one of the very like practitioners of Ayurveda. He will recommend alcohol and he will recommend wine and even recommend beef for curing certain. So this very, he will be killed now, obviously, because he's worshipped now, but he'll be killed. So so this diet thing is, and even if you look at Mahabharata, if they read the epics, Draupadi is offering like 23 kinds of animals to Jayadratha when they were in the forest like this. So all these things were very shocking to me, because I didn't expect them in the text, because the texts are very guarded. But
Okay.
once you open it up,
I
then people reinterpret, oh, it was something else. Like they'll say moms, the word is a fruit or something. So this all keeps
So basically, we
absorb the
both
fact
have
that,
the same thing. As soon as you tell people to actually read the Quran, which is actually in
yeah,
Arabic language, हमें समझ
yeah.
में नहीं आता. We have to read a translation. There are not many
And
translations available. English में तो है, लेकिन उर्दू में, हिंदी में, original
so
languages
they'll
में नहीं
say
है
that
ज़्यादा.
you have to
It's
practice
the
it for
same
30
thing.
years.
Open up the text and then you find a lot of contradictions happening, right?
And they'll say 30 years, like they'll just say that you have to practice it for 30 years. You will not know because you are attacking Hindu. So this is the whole same thing. I'm not attacking. I'm just saying what it is. I have to
In
accept.
the
I also
text.
personally I felt offended too when this thing happened, but then what to do? So this is about meat eating and wine. But at some point I said, as I said about ascetic yoga traditions in Buddhism, Jainism and yoga tradition, there was a move towards vegetarianism, which is a good thing that people move towards this thing based on certain things, and it was not there. But then the idea, like again, this yoga thing always comes together, that the previous people were more advanced. So how can that be? So there is a contradiction which you have to resolve, which if I didn't have to resolve that contradiction and saw history more linearly, then it's fine. Yeah, that's a great thing that they progressed towards like compassion for animals and all this. So it's a very good thing, and it's a very amazing thing that in India the left is ridicules vegetarianism. In UK, Jeremy Corbyn was considered very weak because he's a vegetarian, and here also, like Pence would tout that Harris and Biden are taking away the meat from you, but the alliance now is like so it's very funny because like he would say that they are taking away the beef from you, these because of climate change, because there are certain issues like because of for the environment and everything, it is a better thing to move towards it. But then it's very contradictory here. Most of the people who are vegan or vegetarian would be on the left if they're white, but in India most of the people it's different, and they'll ridicule, I want to eat beef to show how bad like it's like they
I know, I
it's a
know.
very
Oh,
so it's a
yes,
very
yes.
strange kind of
I know,
I
I
also
know.
find a very difficult kind of on the issue of sex and morality, even marriages. There is, if you look at Mahabharat or like even the question of like there's a story of Shvetaketu, very very big story actually, like where his father actually, where his mother actually goes with some other person, not his father, and he gets angry, and his father said that why are you angry, and he says that my mother went away with somebody else, and he says that this has been happening for a long time, and it's fine because women are allowed to go to any place and everything. And he just like Shvetaketu actually gets angry, and he says that he makes a rule that from now on women have to be chaste to the husband and everything like that. So this is a story there. Why this story came is because when he was telling Kunti to have children from the
Mm,
gods,
mm,
then Kunti was hesitant, saying that I am your wife. How can I
mm.
have this thing? And he said that earlier it is not so rigid, earlier this was there and everything. So and there are a lot of stories like that, but I'm just telling you one of that. They were like much more liberal.
Very similar to the Greek mythologies also,
Yeah, yeah.
Zeus
In
impregnating a lot
fact,
of old
Greeks,
people.
if you look at some Greek literature, they would say that at that time the Indians are even more promiscuous than us, they would say.
Yes.
So that's what the Greeks said, and Greeks are already pretty why.
Oh,
So
yes,
I'm saying,
yes.
but now that whole transition to this Victorian, very prudish thing, where actually it feels like the RSS is same as the Islamic
Mm,
cleric,
mm,
is
mm.
very strange for me. Like, I mean, what are you? I mean, what has happened to you? So it's like they say that Western culture is destroying the woman and everything else, but it seemed like I said about the story, that that was the your culture also before, and now you,
Right.
it's like you are absorbing the Victorian culture which they threw out. So I
Excellent.
personally don't
Excellent.
do about it, but this is what I think. So morality is, yeah, I mean, because the whether it was polyandry, polygamy, all these things were there in
This
the
is all
Indian.
recent, right? This is all recent, this morality thing and all. It was not
Yeah, yeah.
there earlier. It's
I
as
mean, there
early
is
as 1800s, right? The
yeah, yeah. I mean,
British.
British time, and then little bit already that strain came by the Puritan
Mughals,
traditions. Yeah,
right?
Mughals, or even before that, there is a. I mean, it is like a combination. There were some indigenous sects who were kind of Puritan, and they were the ones who basically started to dominate more. And maybe it is because also about Jainism, and like
Mm.
it was a combination. But Victorian seems to be the most, because even during Mughal art you can see very open kind of art even during
Yes, I've seen that. And
so,
फिर जब
so
कोई
now
ये लेके आता है कि the Parda system actually originated because the women had to be protected from the Mughal Sultans and everything.
yeah,
Khilji type, right? So
yeah,
it makes me a
it
little bit
is,
confused क्योंकि I see those paintings and I'm like, but then you have this Mughal art, right?
but
Which is
it
very,
also
very
Rajput tradition came in the 6th century or the Gupta times. They were not actually indigenous, so there is a lot of mixing going on. Who knows from where? Like obviously Turkey, Mehendi and everything came from Turkey. I mean, there are a lot of things which are imported.
oh yes,
I
Central
I mean,
Asia.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how to resolve it, but like if you see what happened even in Gandhi's case, he was appalled at what is going on in Ajanta and Ellora. He wanted to destroy the temple. So it's like because they made you ashamed actually of all these things. The British people that time made you ashamed of what the hell are you doing? Like even like Shiva Linga is like a genital organ. So this is something
Although
to
if
be.
you read the Kama Sutra, it's quite similar to the Japanese tradition of the geishas. They were
Yeah,
basically very you could say highly cultural people. हमारी जो
yeah, they
wife भी
are.
होती थी, she used to be a poetess. I mean, Umrao
Yes,
Jan is the
Priya
best
Das.
example.
Yeah, yeah.
Well versed in the arts, whether it's music, it's painting, it's oratory. Unfortunately, they picked up one aspect of it, and they just portray it as a. Whereas if you read the Kama Sutra, it's about all the arts, all
In
poetry and
fact, if
everything
you
comes into
read
it.
Kautilya or Chanakya, in his time, I mean, how he's portrayed is very different in the serial, like from his own writing. Like he had like state sanctioned prostitution, and there were prostitutes who were actually serving the state. In fact, the state owned all the prostitutes and also gambling towns. And
Which
in
which
prostitute,
Norway is practicing, right?
yeah, and
Scandinavian countries are practicing. Yeah.
yeah, and in that case, I mean, but it was kind of extreme that the prostitute actually had to keep on giving the money, so you can't be idle. Like in the sense that if you are idle for some time, you will be penalized. Like you have to give like every daily this thing. But I'm just saying he was very practical in that sense. So this whole thing about morality, I think we have covered like a lot of ground in
Vivek, tell
this.
me one thing. How long did it take you to, study all this? You still say it's very difficult to complete all the texts, but
I didn't complete
what's,
all the text.
yeah,
Like you have to basically go. Like I have studied the Mahabharata and say the Ramayana and some of the Upanishads, but I have we know most people have not. But you read the commentaries and try to get a gist of what is going on, and wherever the contradictions arise, you try to also look at the verses, like at least the verses, whether it is Upanishad, Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and some Puranas, and some things which are not actually scriptural text, like Aryabhata's text or something is not considered scripture. It is just his own thing. So all these kind of things you have to basically go into. But when I was actually practicing, then the most important texts are the Vedanta Sutra, the Gita, and the Upanishads. And the Upanishads are considered part of the Vedas, but more of the intellectual kind of. So these are the only things which are considered primary now. But obviously, if you look at the number of texts, you can't read all of them because each Purana would be 18,000 verses and something. You'll never finish the text ever. So unlike other religions, it's impossible
that's
to
what a friend
get.
had told me. It's impossible to finish everything.
Yeah, so it's not about finishing, but it's about at least getting the gist of where modern Hinduism stands and what are these issues. I think we have touched. I don't know about Clubhouse, but because of being so absorbed in the tradition, I almost know all the issues which are troublesome or things which we face. So I already listed them to you because I grappled with these issues as a practice. If you're a practitioner or a person, then you will see these issues yourself, right? Because whenever you go in a discussion, that is how people are attacking you and this thing. So
I
you
know.
will have to. So yeah, but I have come to a realization basically, like I said, that I'm happy to be a Hindu, but I'm obviously conflicted in like where, like, obviously the problem for me as a contemporary Hindu is that the presence of Judeo-Christian religions makes it harder for me to be extremely critical of Hinduism because the good things about Hinduism are missed completely. Obviously, if the it would be ideal if the entire society was paganistic or like polytheistic and there was no strain of exclusive monotheism, then we would just abandon the parts of Hinduism very easily and say just critique. Then I would just go in the critique game because there are a lot of things to critique and a lot of things to admire, but you just move and adapt. But now the problem is that there's these tribal identities, like, okay, I have to support this or this. So I am kind of, that's why, like, but I
I
just
think I
covered.
think I understand why you and me bonded because your journey seems to be the same as mine. I'm still a seeker, I'm not completely off my heritage and everything. There are absolutely wonderful things which have been there, but then I most often go into the critical mode because people are dying. because of what is happening
yeah.
around, and then you have to
So
take a
I would
stand,
go like I
right?
said, that
Right.
I am slightly more critical. That is why, like, sometimes there's these strange alliances, like the people who are like Hindu critiques. There, the Muslim fanatics will follow them, and people who are Muslims who criticize Islam, the Hindu people will follow them. And like
Yes.
you said, in some cases, then they will just jettison you. If you go slightly
Easily.
away from their
Yeah.
script, they will
Yeah.
jettison you. But
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I I want to critique, but I like some Hindus, the problem for them is they critique so strongly, but they just completely are so understand, like, or they intentionally do it, like they are very soft towards Christianity and Islam, and they don't like, but anyway, that is how it is. But I'm just saying that I want to balance it out, but like I personally see that all these things, it's a very bad trend, at least if you follow in the tradition of Aryabhatta or everybody else in science and everything, whatever was of Hinduism before. It's a very bad trend that all the people like Sanjeev Sanya and everybody is just obsessed with Aryan invasion theory or these kind of things, but not really like absorbing the science, modern science. Like Chinese have gone ahead with it, but India का जो है ना वो पीछे वाला अभी भी चल रहा है. बस consciousness है, but you have to explore the science. The modern science is coming from the West now. Admit it and then go on with it. I mean, it is a combination of Greek, Indian, Arabic culmination coming there. Like modern science is a united human achievement, but the final source came from the West. Unfortunately, if you don't like it, what can be done? But I mean, that's how history is. And that came from Anglo-Saxons, who were considered the most barbaric in the
Perfect.
ancient. So this is the mode of history, which is very interesting, inspiring. That so like, who knows? We are saying this in 1,000 years, somebody they'll have a different story that maybe the Africans are ruling the world, and who knows? I
Right.
mean,
Right.
history teaches us like the most barbaric. So I can't
Ah.
say and predict anything. So.
Vivek, I hope that you have a blog or something. Are
Yeah.
you going to start a blog? Do you have a blog? You
I
should.
don't get time because of the work, but yeah, I think it was good
You should start.
to.
You should
Yeah, I put one article, but I think in video you were able to talk a lot.
blog.
Uh,
Okay.
in
Okay.
writing, I
Oh, we
had
are going to
to.
continue. Absolutely, we are going to continue. Should we
Thank you.
expect an indie game from you? Something about this, should we expect?
No, we had a science education game like which we made called Odyssey. In that, we basically what we tried to do is go from the flat Earth conception to the spherical Earth conception, and then from spherical Earth you had still a geocentric world. From geocentric you go to heliocentric, and then from heliocentric you go to universal law of gravity. So this was a progression in science. And But yeah, I mean, and I now understand, like, if you tell anybody, if I mean, most of the things, if somebody is the brightest person, will think that the Earth is flat. If you can't, I mean, it's very difficult to even know why the moon is actually how eclipses are caused. I mean, it took a lot of time and everything to understand these things. I mean, even the brightest people can be wrong. That is the thing which I accepted. Before that, I thought that, oh, the rishis cannot be wrong. But it's amazing what they tried to do for their time. So we have to celebrate it, accept the fact that okay, Newton also was wrong on certain things, Einstein
Yeah,
also. So it's like
absolutely.
this
Darwin
happened.
was
Yeah,
wrong on
yeah,
certain
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Yes,
so it's
absolutely.
fine. So we just
Fine.
accept it and celebrate past perfection which was there, and that is something which I don't like in the. That is why I'm very uncomfortable in the current Hindutva setup. I mean, like sometimes, like, I don't want to name, like in your blog or something, there are some Hindus, but they are like completely gone to the other extreme. Like maybe it's just because of that, but they just feel everything is they are focused on Islam, which is true. But I mean, you can't just say that everything is amazing there. Like they just say that it's like crystal, like it's just like just which is not true. I mean,
I
I'm just.
like the Hindi word manthan. I think that is what is happening. This churning is happening. I am all for it. I don't mind if whatever they're thinking, because I don't come from a culture jahan pe ye sab is
Yeah, I
tolerated.
that is the
So
reason
you can
that I
understand ki, why I'm allowing it,
completely.
why I'm
Yeah.
very tolerant about it ki hone do. Because not used to such discourses. मेरा तो एकदम से होता था
uh,
shut down. You can't talk. This is blasphemy. This is taboo.
uh,
So,
uh,
coming from that culture, for me, it's ki manthan ho raha hai. Everybody is talking, let it be, even if it's stupid views, doesn't matter, लेकिन बोल तो रहे हैं. Because I come
हाँ,
from a
that's
very,
fine.
very, close society. So,
Then it's like yes. Anyway, thank you for this.
Thank you,
I
Vivek.
have
It's
enjoyed.
been excellent. You'll be invited again. We'll be talking more, and wonderful to finally meet you in person.
I'll send you the links for the books on caste and also the articles of
Please do. I'll put them in
experiment.
the description because readers
Yeah.
will want to. And if you have the link for the game as well, I'm sure they'd like to buy it.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.